Welcome back to another live. I'm going to go over 10 tools I believe every bookkeeper needs to be using in 2025. I think we're onto something here. I think I might be going live every single day. I don't want to commit to it yet, but I really like doing these live chats. So I think I'm going to keep doing these live videos every day, 10 a.m., maybe 10:30, maybe 11. Stay tuned. I'm going to try to come up with a set schedule so that you know when to hop on and when to join me. The cool thing about these live videos, I'm going to go over some really helpful tips in the first 10 minutes, but then after that, it's just going to be a live Q&A. You can ask me whatever questions you might have. Bookkeeping, QuickBooks Online, accounting fundamentals, bookkeeping fundamentals, sales, marketing, customer service, quoting, client agreements, onboarding customers, whatever questions you might have, feel free to ask me. So drop a comment in the chat and I will answer as many questions as I possibly can. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about some tools that every bookkeeper needs in 2025. We're going to start with something very obvious, QuickBooks Online. It's completely free. You don't need to buy QuickBooks Online as an accountant. As a bookkeeper, go to Google and you can search for QuickBooks Online account, kind of a tongue twister, but you can sign up for free and you can do two things with this QuickBooks Online accountant account. You can manage your own books for your own bookkeeping business. And then you can also get invited to other people's QuickBooks so that you can do their bookkeeping. QuickBooks Online, you need to know how to use it. You need to get it for yourself. You're going to have your own separate login. So whenever you get a new client, they're going to ask you, like, do I just give you my password, or like, how does this work? You can tell them, no, you have your own separate username and password. I have my own QuickBooks account. I have my own username and password. Here's my email address. You just simply invite me to your QuickBooks. Number one thing you need, QuickBooks Online. That's how I do all of the bookkeeping for my clients. Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. I do a lot of tracking with Excel. I do a lot of bookkeeping for my clients with Excel, but then I also do a lot of management for my business with Microsoft Excel. I have a lot of lists in Excel. I have a lot of tables. So I have a monthly workflow that I use. So I keep track of all my clients and I do everybody's books one time per week. So I have a list of all my clients, which day of the week am I doing their bookkeeping. So for example, today's Thursday. So I'm working on all of my Thursday bookkeeping clients today. So all of the clients who have a number 4 next to their name in the spreadsheet, 4 for Thursday, I'm going to do all their books today. So I have a workflow tracker. And then I keep track. Did I do their books this week? Yes or no? And then at the end of the month, did I do their reconciliation? Yes or no? Did I send their financial reports? Yes or no? That's how I keep track. If you haven't had a chance to meet me, if you don't know who I am, I have 75-ish bookkeeping clients. It fluctuates between 70 and 80 with onboarding new clients and losing some clients, but I have 75-ish bookkeeping clients right now. And I have a subcontractor who works for me. He does 5. I do all the rest. So I stay pretty busy on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, but I keep track of it all just simply using Microsoft Excel. So you might see some people talking about Keeper or other bookkeeping software. I'll be honest, I don't use that stuff. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying that it's bad. I just like to keep things simple. I have found sometimes that some tools can actually just overcomplicate things. So I like to keep things super, super simple. So QuickBooks Online, Microsoft Excel. And if you're just now joining this live chat, feel free to ask questions. I'm going to go through my notes. I'm going to talk about some tools that I think are useful, but then feel free to ask questions. You can ask questions about anything. And then you can see here, this video is sponsored by my investment fund, Zip Capital. So I'm offering 8% up to 12% annual fixed returns to US citizens and accredited investors. So if you are both of those, and if you have some extra cash laying around, $25,000 is the minimum investment. But if you want to learn more about that, you can register on my website, which is in the description of this video. Okay, ChatGPT. Tool number 3, I use ChatGPT mostly for marketing content ideas, but I also use it to help me complete simple tasks. I will use ChatGPT a lot of times to respond to messages. If people send me a message or a comment or send me an email, and if it's pretty general, instead of spending time thinking about a response, I will leverage ChatGPT to come up with a response. But I'm not going to get too much into artificial intelligence and ChatGPT, but if you don't know how to use it, start using it. There's a lot of great uses for ChatGPT. I have a whole video all about artificial intelligence. I posted it a couple weeks ago. Definitely recommend check that out. Number 4, Canva. Canva is great. I make all my thumbnails from Canva. Think about PowerPoint, or not PowerPoint, Photoshop 20 years ago, but instead Canva is so user friendly. It's like Photoshop for beginners, very user friendly, and they have a lot of great templates. And the cool thing is with ChatGPT and Canva, they're both free, or you can pay 20 bucks per month and get like a premium version. So I do that. I spend 13 bucks a month, I think, for Canva premium and 20 bucks a month for ChatGPT. Money well spent. You don't have to spend money if you don't want to, but if you want the premium features, I really like Canva. I use it for a lot of YouTube thumbnails, and I use it for a lot of Photoshop. Like I can remove the background on a lot of pictures. Like you can use a magic eraser, you can change the color, you can crop images, you can layer images. If you follow my Zip Capital real estate posts, I post those cool little 4-picture collages. I make all those on Canva. Super simple. You don't need to pay hundreds of dollars for a graphic designer. You can just create pretty simple, professional looking images on Canva. Another tool, social media. So there's 2 parts about starting and growing a bookkeeping business. There's actually doing the bookkeeping, and then there's sales and marketing, getting clients. And social media nowadays makes getting clients pretty straightforward, pretty simple. All you need to do is just create content on the internet, and you do that on social media. You connect with interested clients, with business owners, with prospective clients. You do that on social media, and you can do it from the comfort of your own home, totally for free. Facebook's free, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, it's all free. You can create content for free. We all have phones with great cameras. You can take pictures, you can take videos. Super simple. I'm not going to go too much into social media marketing, but social media is absolutely a tool that you're going to need to leverage. Email. I use Google Suite. So I have a domain, harrisburgbookkeeping.com, and then I connected my domain to Google Suite. I pay $6 per month for Google Suite to host my email, and it looks just like Gmail, so user-friendly, super simple to use. And by having that professional workplace in Google Suite, I also get access to Google Drive, Google Calendar, Google Meet, which is like Zoom, where you can host virtual meetings. Google Suite is amazing, super affordable, only $6 per month. I send all my emails straight through Google Suite. It's amazing. I use Squarespace for my domain and my website. 2 separate things. Squarespace, $20 per month. Google Suite, $6 per month. 2 separate things. My website is hosted through Squarespace. My email is run through Google Suite. And then I also have my calendar. I use Acuity for my calendar. So if you ever go to my website, I have a calendar link on my website that's connected to my Google Calendar. So if I block off, let's say 12 to 1 p.m. to say I'm going to lunch, then if you go to my Acuity calendar link to try to schedule a meeting, it's going to have 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. blocked off because the 2 are synced. And this is such a great tool for trying to schedule meetings with interested clients. Acuity calendar, sync it with your Gmail, Google Calendar. And if anybody ever wants to meet with you, something's really annoying. I really don't like doing this, personal preference, but I'm sure you've had this experience. Somebody reaches out to you and says, hey, can we meet? And you say, yeah, sure. When are you available? And they say, well, how about Tuesday at 2 p.m.? And you say, oh no, Tuesday doesn't work. How about Wednesday at 9 a.m.? And they say, oh, Wednesday works, but not 9 a.m. How about 3 p.m. on Wednesday? You say, yeah, sure, that works. Okay, let's meet. And then it's just this annoying back and forth. And so to alleviate that annoying back and forth, somebody says, hey, can we meet? I say, absolutely. Here's my link. Here's my calendar. Go ahead and schedule a free 15-minute consultation directly on my calendar. Super, super simple. Along with Google Calendar and G Suite, I talked about Google Meet. So that's how I host virtual meetings. So some people like to meet face-to-face, which is totally fine. Financial services are all about trust. And it's hard to build trust over the phone. But Google Meet, especially in today's world, makes it a lot easier. You can get a webcam on your laptop, and you can just host a virtual meeting. Google Meet comes free with G Suite, but also you can have Zoom. We all know about Zoom. I think you might have to pay for Zoom. You might get a free 30-minute meeting. I'm not sure about Zoom. I use Google Meet. Super simple to use, great for hosting virtual meetings. And then finally, Google Drive. I use Google Drive to store a lot of files on the cloud. Also, I use Google Drive to share a lot of documents with clients. If they have bank statements or tax returns or monthly loan statements, we use Google Drive to share documents. And they can just create their own Google Drive and then they can give me access. And so I have it all in my own Google Drive. So I don't have to log into a different account to access their Google Drive folder. They just simply share access with my email address, and then I can access it in my own Google Drive. Super, super easy, straightforward. Everybody uses Google Drive. And then there's Google Sheets. So I use Microsoft Excel for a lot of bookkeeping stuff, and a lot of reports can be exported into Microsoft Excel, but a lot of people don't have Excel. So what they do is they can upload the Excel spreadsheet into Google Sheets, and then now they can edit the Google Sheet, and then they can share it with me, and I can download the Google Sheet as Microsoft Excel. So Google Sheets makes it very accessible and easy for people who don't have Excel. You can still exchange and edit spreadsheets. Google Sheets, Google Drive, so amazing, so helpful. Couple more, stick with me. If you're just watching this video, go ahead and drop a comment in the chat. If you have any questions, I'm going to do a live Q&A. I'm going to answer everybody's questions. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can see me. Hopefully there's a few people watching this right now. If anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. I'm almost done going through these tools that every bookkeeper should be using in 2025. One more thing, side note, check out all the links in the description of this video. I have a ton of resources for you. I've got a free mini course. I've got a ton of free digital downloads on my website. And I also have a course. It costs money, but the course teaches you everything that you need to know. I have a social media marketing strategy guide. In the course, I teach you bookkeeping fundamentals, how to use QuickBooks Online. I share my screen, walk you through it, sales, marketing. I have a client agreement that's included in the course, a ton of great resources in that course. If you're trying to start a bookkeeping business or even trying to grow your bookkeeping business, the course will be perfect for you. I promise you, it will help you start your bookkeeping business. Okay, a few more things. Microsoft OneDrive. I have a Microsoft computer and I was really worried. What happens if my computer crashes? I have a ton of files on my computer and I wasn't sure what to do. And then so I got Microsoft OneDrive to back up all my files onto the cloud. So if my computer crashes or God forbid I lose my computer, something tragic happens, then all my files are still safe and secure on the cloud. So I could get a new computer, log into my Microsoft OneDrive, and then boom, I have all my files. It's $2 per month, money well spent for peace of mind, knowing that all your files are backed up. You absolutely have to do this. 4 more, Right Inbox. Right Inbox is an extension to my Gmail, my Google Suite, $120 per year, $10 per month. It enables you to send recurring emails, which is amazing as a bookkeeper because we have a lot of recurring tasks. So I can send reconciliation notes to all my clients. Every month, on the first day of every month, I'm asking all my clients for their documents, bank statements, credit card statements, loan statements, Right Inbox. It's an extension for your Google Suite email. It'll save your life. It'll change your world. You got to look into it. Money well spent. PandaDoc. You can send documents to be signed by your clients. I have my client agreement that I send to clients using PandaDoc, and they can electronically sign everything. And then I also use PandaDoc a lot for Zip Capital. So I have an accredited investor self-verification that I send to interested investors. And then also for Zip Capital, I work with real estate investors. They borrow money from me, and so they have to sign an ACH authorization. So they give me their bank account, their routing number, and they give me authorization to withdraw their monthly interest payment. I also do that for my bookkeeping clients. I make all my bookkeeping clients sign an ACH authorization saying, yes, you can pull your monthly service fee every month directly from my bank account. It's amazing. I'm not waiting for my clients to pay me. I'm paying myself from their bank account using ACH authorization, and I have everything signed through PandaDoc. 2 more, SubMagic. I use SubMagic. If you follow me on social media, you should check out my videos. If you haven't seen my videos, all my social media channels are linked below in the description of this video. I post every single day. Definitely recommend, if you're looking for some inspiration, some motivation, some ideas for social media content, definitely recommend follow me on social media. I use Submagic. I create short videos, 60-second videos up to 3-minute videos. I use Submagic to create all the captions for my videos. Super good. And then finally, I recommend creating videos. It's hard. Put yourself out there, get in front of a camera, learn how to speak, learn how to talk. It's hard, but it's really rewarding because it helps establish trust. Look at this video right now. We've got how many people? 30, 40 people watching this video right now. And you don't know who I am. You're total strangers, but you've watched my videos. So you're showing up every day to watch my live videos, all because of my videos. It just goes to show videos are super powerful at building trust. People buy my course all the time. They don't know who I am, but they just see my videos. They see what I'm talking about. I got so many bookkeeping clients from posting short videos. Super great at building relationships, establishing trust, getting your familiar face out there on the internet. And you need a good microphone. I have this Rode microphone, this Rode arm right here. The sound quality is good. It's crisp, it's clear, it's easy to understand. The microphone was expensive, $160, money well spent. I got a cheap $20 microphone, and then I got a more expensive $40 microphone. I wish I just would have got this in the very beginning. It connects to my computer, it connects to my cell phone, and then I use my phone to record all my videos. I'm using a webcam right now, but all my short videos just get recorded on my camera. No fancy software, no fancy equipment. The microphone is by far the most expensive and the fanciest equipment, but that's what I got for you all. Those are the tools that I use to do marketing and to run my bookkeeping business and to run, honestly, Zip Capital, my investment fund. Okay, so now we're going to get to the Q&A, questions and answers. If anybody has any questions, any comments, let me know in the chat and I will get to everybody's questions. Alec, good morning. Good morning, Alec. So happy to be here. Thank you for watching. Trusting your process. Hi, I've been a long-time follower and even started my bookkeeping business. Have 2 clients. Congratulations, but I am so unmotivated to grow my business. I know it's all in my head. Any tips? So for me, I was motivated a lot by money. I think a lot of us are, that we work so that we can make money, so that we can support our families. So trusting your process, I would say, where are you financially? Are you happy with where you are financially? How much money do you need to survive? Are you still working your part-time job or your full-time job? That is what separates a lot of people. People hang on to their full-time job for too long. I know it's scary. It's a big risk. You need to be smart about making the transition, but trusting your process, that's what your name is, trusting your process. I would say that you probably are holding on to your full-time job for too long. So you need to make the leap of faith. You need to go all in on your bookkeeping business. If you want to get 10, 20 clients making $5,000, $10,000 a month, you absolutely can, but you got to quit your full-time job. You got to go all in on your bookkeeping business. Hollywood Poe, hey, Zach, nice to see you. Benjamin Hicks, I've been trying to get Google to accept my firm as a searchable business, but they keep denying my request. Did you have to do something special to get Harrisburg Bookkeeping listed? It was a lot different 5 years ago. It was a lot easier to get verified 5 years ago. I do know the verification process is a lot more difficult today, especially if you have a virtual business. Unfortunately, I don't have too many tips for you. I think you need to make a video. You need to make a video verifying that it's your house, you live there, you have a home office. I think it's hard, but I think you can do it. However you do it, figure out how to do it. And then once you do it, you got to get Google reviews. Having a Google My Business profile is so important for having a bookkeeping business. So definitely recommend, you got to get it. You got to do it. I don't have any tips, unfortunately, because I haven't had to do it, but I think you need to do a verification video for having a home office. It's possible. Arifa Actor, hello, Zach. I want to have your opinion on working with a CPA rather than working as a freelancer bookkeeper and how to deal with them. Like, should I ask for hourly pay or project-based earnings? So I'll just be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan. I talked about this yesterday. I'm not a huge fan of working with a CPA unless you're trying to learn. If you're trying to get experience, if you're trying to learn, that's okay. I think that's a good idea. But if you really just want to grow your bookkeeping business, you're just taking a shortcut. You're taking the easy way out. I don't think it's a good idea long term. Short term, sure, 3, 4 months, get some experience, make some money, quit your full time job. It's an okay option. But I would much rather you spend more time growing your personal brand on social media, creating marketing content, doing sales, creating videos, tutorials, posts, growing your network, marketing. I think that's a much better use of your time. But if you wanted to, you've got two options for getting paid. You could do hourly, which I would probably charge 50 bucks an hour as a bookkeeper to a CPA firm, as an independent contractor, outsourced bookkeeper. The other option is you could do percent revenue of the project, 20, 30, 40% revenue of the project is pretty standard. But I do not recommend doing that. I recommend build your own business and get your own clients, unless you're trying to get experience. Adam Barry, on average, how much would you say you charge each client per month? $560. I know exactly how much it is. My clients on average pay $560. Also, how many hours a month do you spend working on each client? 30 minutes. 30 minutes per week, 2 hours per month. Chris, sorry, newbie here. May I ask if you have tried doing remote bookkeeping work? All of the bookkeeping that I do, Chris, is remote. I work out of my home office. I service clients all over the country. I work with QuickBooks Online. Everything is 100% remote. Chris, if you want to take my course, definitely recommend. There's a $50 off coupon. Promo code YouTube. You can get $50 off my course. It's linked down below. Definitely recommend. Check that out. Coastal Pink, being a remote bookkeeper working with clients in states other than your own, do you have to know state laws pertaining to their business to do the bookkeeping? No, you don't need to know different state laws. Bookkeeping is bookkeeping. Now, taxes, filing taxes, yes, there are different laws, but bookkeeping is bookkeeping. You're categorizing transactions, you're reconciling accounts, and you're generating financial reports. Typically, if there is something special with their business, the business owner probably already knows that. And the business owner will probably tell you if there's something special that you need to be doing. But accounting, bookkeeping is bookkeeping. Taxes are a little bit different, but we're just doing bookkeeping. We're just categorizing transactions, reconciling accounts, and generating financial reports. So that's all pretty standard. One thing I did want to mention, if you're watching this video, if you're monitoring the chat, if you want to answer somebody's questions or if you want to give some advice, by all means, please, I would love that. I would love to hear some other people's opinions because I talk all day. I've been doing this for 5 years, but my perspective is probably different from somebody else's perspective. So if anybody else wants to chime in, by all means, feel free to answer some questions, and I will obviously answer all the questions as well. Hollywood Poe, transitioning to QBO from QuickBooks Desktop has been amazing as I am able to work with so much more clients. Absolutely. So I started working with QuickBooks Desktop in the beginning, and I'm never going back. I don't use desktop anymore. Yes, they're both QuickBooks, but they are totally different. The user experience is totally different. The layout and the setup and the shortcuts and the way you do things completely different. So here's my advice. Get a niche. And I don't necessarily mean a niche in the service, in the industry that you provide, but I mean a niche in the services that you provide and a niche in the software that you use. That's always been how I teach. That's what I do personally. I only work with QuickBooks Online. I only do bookkeeping. It's been really good for me because I am able to work so efficiently, so quickly. I'm able to solve problems. I'm a bookkeeping expert. I'm a QuickBooks Online expert because I literally spend 40 to 50 hours every week doing bookkeeping. So there's not a single problem that I can't solve because I've been doing bookkeeping 40 hours a week for 5 years. Let's see, Josh, do you feel the need for a tool to back up and restore your clients' books in case you accidentally cause a problem you can't fix? So QuickBooks Online is all on the cloud. So if you make a change in QuickBooks Online, there is no backup. It automatically gets changed. The one cool thing though, there's an audit log. So you can see every single transaction that ever gets done in the audit log. So if you do make a mistake, if you do change something, you can go back to that transaction. Even if you delete a transaction, you can still see in the audit log, you can see what you did, when you did it, or sometimes importantly, who did it. Sometimes your client or somebody, an office manager, admin assistant, sometimes somebody else makes changes to the book. So there is no tool, at least as far as I know. As far as I know, I don't use a tool that backs up QuickBooks Online. I'm pretty sure it's all in the cloud. It's all it all gets updated in real time. QuickBooks Desktop is different. QuickBooks Desktop, there are backup files, but I don't think that there is a backup file for QuickBooks Online. If somebody else knows of something, let me know in the chat. I'd be curious to hear that. I've never really looked into that. Trusting your process. Pam is my name. Thanks, Pam. I appreciate you. Thanks for asking really great questions. Hollywood Poe, if you did, how would you tell your current employer I can doing the bookkeeping at a monthly rate instead of hourly? Hollywood Poe, so you are saying, let me go back to your original question. I forget what you're talking about. If you did, how would you tell your current employer I can do the bookkeeping at a monthly rate instead of hourly? So I'm a little bit confused by what you said. It sounds like you maybe have a full-time job as a bookkeeper. So a lot of what I talk about is being an independent contractor, entrepreneur, business owner, having bookkeeping clients, not necessarily having one full-time employer. So all my monthly rate is like $500 per month for all my individual clients. I work with small businesses, people who have less than $3 million of revenue, less than 50 employees, small businesses, people who don't have in-house accountants, in-house bookkeepers, people who outsource their bookkeeping. So Hollywood Poe, I'm not exactly sure what you mean. If you can maybe clarify, that'd be great. MB, how do you do everything in 30 minutes? LOL, you're fast. What is your process in general? Thanks. So I've been doing this for 5 years. Keep in mind, I've been doing this for 5 years. So I probably am more efficient, am a little bit faster, but I only log into people's books one time per week. I'm only logging into your QuickBooks one day per week. So if you log in every single day, you're going to have fewer transactions, but you're going to spend more time logging in, refreshing the bank feed, and sending email questions to your client. So instead of doing that every day, I do it one day per week. And then everything's connected to the bank feed. I don't do any manual entries. So I'm not manually creating expenses, manually creating invoices or sales receipts. Everything is done through the QuickBooks bank feed. Credit cards, bank accounts, all connected. For debit card and credit card transactions, I use QuickBooks rules. So if they have recurring transactions, I will use a QuickBooks rule. Like, for example, let's say they go to Chipotle and they buy lunch. I will create a QuickBooks rule, bank text Chipotle, apply to all the bank accounts, vendor Chipotle, category meals, auto add. That way, if there's ever a transaction that has Chipotle in the bank text, QuickBooks will automatically categorize that as a meal expense, and I don't have to manually categorize that in the QuickBooks bank feed. And then if I have a list of questions, I just send it to the client. I will send them a list of questions, usually exported in Microsoft Excel if it's more than 3 or 4. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4 questions, I might just do an email. Just say email, and I'll just say the date, 9/25, ACH withdrawal, $5,000. Who did you pay? What did you buy? Super, super simple. Audrey, what system do you use to get your real estate project-based clients to code their transactions for you? I do all the class tracking myself. So I will export a list of transactions from the QuickBooks bank feed. Let's say they go to Home Depot and Lowe's. So I will export all the Home Depot transactions, all the Lowe's transactions on a weekly basis. I'll send them to my client. It's usually not my client. It's usually my client's virtual assistant or office administrator who answers the question. So I will export a list of transactions, send it to the client and say, hey, here's a list of all of your property related expenses. Please put the property next to these transactions. Now, keep in mind, I do charge extra for class tracking. I charge $4 per transaction on average per month for class tracking. If there's no class tracking or project tracking, I'll do $3 per transaction. Another thing for utility payments, some of my clients already have their office manager keep track of all their utility payments. So they have a spreadsheet already organized by their office manager that has all their utility payments, the amount, the date, the vendor, and the property that it goes to. Let me take a quick 5-second coffee break. All right, let's see. David, do you see cold email outreach dying for finding new clients? Absolutely. I think cold outreach is a huge waste of time, a huge mistake. I don't do cold outreach. I only do outreach to people who I'm connected with on social media. So that's why my social media marketing strategy, I create content every day so that people know who I am, what I'm doing. And then I connect with people on social media. So I send LinkedIn connections, I send Facebook friend requests, I follow people on Instagram so that I can become connected with them so that they can see my content. And then I'll send them a message 30 days later after they accept my friend request. So it's not a cold outreach. They've already seen my content. They already know who I am. I think cold email is a total waste of time. Cold calling, cold email, I think that's a waste of time. Colin, I've been out of work for a couple months and have been learning bookkeeping basics, but did fail the Intuit QBO cert twice, so have to wait 2 weeks. How should I study to make sure I pass this time? All right, Colin, check it out. You don't have to wait 2 weeks. Just get a new email account. That's what I did. So zachpask@gmail.com is my email address. And I failed twice also. So I just created a new email address. With Gmail, there's a little cheat code. You can put a period anywhere in your email address and it still goes to the same place, but it gets treated like a different email address. So my QBO accountant account is actually zach.pask@gmail.com, all because I also failed the QBO Pro Advisor certification twice and didn't want to wait 2 weeks. You don't have to. Create a new email address, create a new account. Here's what you can do. Open up an incognito window and open up a regular window. This is going to save you guys time. This is going to change your lives. Pay attention. Open up an incognito window, open up QuickBooks Online, and then open up a regular window and log into QuickBooks Online. Because of the incognito window, you can log in 2 separate times. If you don't do it, it's going to kick you out. So incognito window and then a regular window, and then you can log into the course material, and then you can take the test at the same time. Treat it like an open book test. And the test actually goes in order of the open book material, of the course material. So as you go through the test questions, you can sort through the content in the study guide, and then you can answer the questions by using the course study guide material. Incognito window, regular window, 2 screens, QuickBooks Online, accountant account, study guide, and the test at the same time. And I guarantee you're going to pass it. Let's see. Rose Marshall, do you have a specific video on loading a chart of accounts or a template? I'm finding the instructions in QBO confusing. I don't do that. I don't load chart of accounts into QuickBooks. What I typically do is I manually add chart of accounts as needed. So maybe at most I'll have 20 or 30 chart of accounts, but I add them throughout the time. If I get a brand new QuickBooks account, I would just add chart of accounts as they're needed. And they're usually the basic ones: office supplies and software, legal and professional fees, advertising and marketing, job supplies and materials. So no, unfortunately, I don't have a specific video on loading a chart of accounts, but QuickBooks Online has a lot of great tutorials. So I would maybe check QuickBooks Online to see if they already have a tutorial for that. They probably have a video literally showing you what to do. So maybe go to Google and type in QuickBooks Online tutorial, importing chart of accounts. I'm sure that'll help. Pam, trusting your process, YouTube versus Facebook versus LinkedIn for creating content to get customers. Which one, if you were starting today? I would primarily get bookkeeping clients from Facebook. I'm using LinkedIn to get Zip Capital investors because I'm actually targeting W-2 employees in their 40s and 50s. So LinkedIn is great for getting VPs, directors, partners as W-2 employees. I think LinkedIn, there's not as many entrepreneurs on LinkedIn, but a lot of entrepreneurs hang out on Facebook. So Facebook groups are a great place to be. Find local Facebook groups that are relevant to entrepreneurship, business, and then look at the members in that local group and then just start sending out friend requests to people who have mutual friends with you. Hollywood Poe, I'm currently working now with an HVAC company on their books, but at an hourly rate. I would like to switch to a monthly rate once I get their books current. So I would probably just make the switch. Just make the switch. Look at how much you've been charging them over the past 3 months hourly. Maybe come up with an average, maybe increase it a little bit, maybe keep it the same. Just let them know, hey, I'm switching to a fixed monthly rate. Your new monthly rate is going to be $400 per month. Please let me know if you have any questions. Just be very matter of fact, just be very straightforward, and let them know that this is just I'm just changing the way I'm operating my company. I'm moving to a fixed monthly rate, and try to word it in a way that's favorable to them. Hey, I'm doing this so that you know exactly how much it's going to cost every single month. This doesn't mean I'm going to spend less time working on your books. As a matter of fact, now, if you have a question, you can call me and I'm not going to bill you hourly. Everything is included in the fixed monthly rate. Josh, what if your client wants receipts attached to each entry? Yes, I absolutely charge extra for that. I really try to avoid doing that. That's a lot of work. I try not to attach receipts to individual transactions, but I will charge $4 per transaction if I'm doing that. So typically $3 per transaction. If they want me to attach receipts, I'm going to charge $4 per transaction for all of their transactions, not just the ones that get the receipt. So if you have 100 transactions per month and you don't want receipt tracking, then $300 per month for 100 transactions. If you have 100 transactions and you want me to attach receipts to transactions, automatically $400 per month. Even if it's only 20 receipts, I'm still going to charge you $4 per transaction. Quick coffee break. Tevin Powell started watching your videos months ago. Now I have 4 clients. Let's go, Tevin Powell. I'm proud of you. That's what it's all about. That's why I'm making these videos, because I'm sure you can tell I'm passionate about making these videos. I'm trying to grow Zip Capital. Shamelessly, I will admit, I'm making a lot of these videos to hopefully spread awareness about my investment fund. So I do want people to invest into my investment fund, Zip Capital. But also, I'm proud of you, Tevin. I want more people to get more bookkeeping clients. I love talking about this stuff. So that's why I make these videos. I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. You're just getting started. Now that you have 4 clients, you are officially over the beginning stages. You made it through the gauntlet. You made it. You got over that hump. It's so hard to get your first couple clients. So keep up the good work. Now that you have experience, it's going to only get easier. Hollywood Poe. Rose Marshall, yes, he has earlier videos explaining chart of accounts. Thanks for that, Hollywood Poe. Ianit S. Hey, Zach, what if I live overseas? Can I do accounting for or bookkeeping services for U.S. businesses? Unfortunately, I don't know. I've only ever serviced clients in my own country. So unfortunately, everything that I talk about is all based on my own personal experience. So sorry, I don't have experience with that, unfortunately. Chikezi Igu, what are the best industries to niche in? I don't think it matters what industry you niche in. Here's my advice, and I talk about this all the time. Get 10 clients first and then pick a niche. Get 10 clients first. Don't pick a niche before you have any clients. I think that's silly unless you have very particular experience. If you have been running a restaurant for the past 10 years, if you know a ton about restaurants and you want to pick restaurants as your niche, sure, go ahead and pick restaurants. But if you don't have any business experience, I recommend get 10 clients first and then pick your niche. Trusting your process, Pam, thank you. I know you have a video about this, so I will go back and view it. Your Monday group, do you answer bookkeeping questions there too? And what is the monthly rate again, please? So you can join. I have private group meeting every Monday at 3 p.m. There's a link to join that in the description of this video. It's $49 per month. It's a monthly subscription. $49 gets you access to every single Monday meeting for that month. So if you want to join, you can try it out. $12 per week. Pretty good deal, pretty affordable. And we all share our screen. We all share our camera. And so it's not just a chat like this, but you can actually speak. You can even share your screen if you want. And other people actually do a lot of talking. Other people answer other people's questions. There's a wide variety of experience. There's some people who've been accountants for 20 years. Other people have been accountants for 20 days. So very wide experience. It's great. It's like a support group. It's an accountability group. We all know each other. We've all become friends. It's really, I have people in that group that have been there for over a year. So it's a really great group, really solid group. People actually get referrals from that group. People will come on and say, hey, I'm here. I've got this nonprofit account that I don't know. I don't do nonprofit bookkeeping. Who here does nonprofit bookkeeping? And then people actually get referrals from being in that group. So it's a really great group to be in. If you're looking, just try it out for 1 month, $49 per month. That's like going out to eat one time. So you don't really have much to lose. Just give it a try and see if you like it. Marlene, I have a 1099 contractor that needs help with 3 years of categorizing for his taxes. Would you do that in QuickBooks and then offer a monthly service? He currently does not have QuickBooks. Yes, I would do that in QuickBooks, and I would charge the same thing. I would charge per year. So just start with 1 year first. So let's say, hey, we're going to do 2022 first. I don't even want to think about 23, 24. Let's do 2022 first. I'm going to quote you. Send me all your 2022 bank statements, all your 2022 credit card statements, and then give him a quote. $3 per transaction. It's the exact same formula. $3 per transaction, unless they have less than 100 transactions per month, in which case I'll do a flat fee of $2,000 per year, maybe $2,500 per year. But if they have more than 50 or 100 transactions, then just $3 per transaction. But here's the key. Only do 1 year at a time. Don't quote them for 3 years. Don't quote them hourly. Quote them to do 1 year of bookkeeping, the first year. Get that done with. And then you can revisit your strategy. You can reevaluate your quote. I would much rather let's just do a test. Let's just do 1 year. Let's get through it. You'll pay me. I'll do it. And then we can move on to the next year. This is going to save you because you never know what's going to happen. Who knows? Maybe this is the best client ever. Super easy to work with. You get it done in 2 weeks, move on, charge them the same for the next year. Or worst case scenario, they are impossible to work with. They have 3 extra credit cards that you didn't know about, and you're going to charge them double for the next year. You're going to be so happy you waited to quote them for the second year. Get the first year over with. And also, if you do a good job, which you probably will, crush the first year, deliver high quality customer service, do an amazing job. Get it done super fast, stay up late, wake up early, work nonstop, get it done as fast as you can, as good as you can, be an amazing bookkeeper like you always are. And then you're going to blow them away. They're going to be like, oh my goodness, this lady is the best bookkeeper ever. I can't believe this. Yes, let's sign up for the second year. Let me sign up for monthly bookkeeping. This is amazing. So this is a great opportunity for you to blow customer service out of the water, do an amazing job, get a good referral, get a good Google review, do a really good job. Best way to price services. I feel like $300 per month is too low. Is asking for $850 a stretch. It all depends on the size and complexity of their business. I've got some clients who pay $300 per month. I've got some clients who pay $3,000 per month. It totally depends on the size and complexity of their business. So is $300 per month too low? I don't know. It all depends on how many transactions they have. So that's why you request their bank statements and credit card statements, count up their monthly transactions. Ethan and Uncle Bo, smart strategy. Appreciate you, Ethan. Thank you for that. R. Briscoe. When you send the financial reports after month end, do you include a summary? No, I don't include a summary. If people want to meet and talk about it, for sure, I'm here for it. I will meet with you and talk about it. What I found is people don't really care too much. Some people do, but a lot of people don't really care too much about their monthly financial reports. It's upsetting as a bookkeeper, but it's just what I've learned. So I don't want to waste too much time by spending too much time on a paragraph explanation or analysis. If you want to, you can maybe offer that as an upcharge. Maybe say, hey, if you want me to send you a 2-minute Loom video explanation of your financial reports, I can do that for an extra $100 per month. Or if you want to schedule a monthly meeting, we can do that for an extra $50 per month. I would charge extra, offer maybe do it for a month free and say, hey, if you like this, this is the promo. If you like this, I could continue doing this for an extra $100 per month. Let's see. Trusting your Pam. Great job, Tevin. Absolutely. Great job, everybody. Marion McNaughton, when you give a monthly rate, do you include the QBO charge I pay for all my clients? I am sorry. I don't do that. Let me explain. This is a great question. I do not do that. Administratively, it's an absolute nightmare. Marianne McNaughton, you're probably experiencing this right now because QuickBooks constantly increases their price. What a pain in the butt. So now you have to constantly reevaluate how much you're charging your client, or you don't and you just eat the increased QBO price. So frustrating. And then you look like the bad guy because you're saying, hey, it's going to be an extra $15 this month because the QBO subscription went up. So you're the bad guy, you're increasing the price. And also, it makes your services look more expensive. They're paying, instead of $300 per month, now they're paying $365 per month because you're including their QBO subscription. So in their mind, psychologically, they're paying you, Marion, $365 for bookkeeping, when in reality, they're only paying $300 and they're paying QBO the $65, but they don't see it like that because it's just all going to you. So whether they pay you or not pay you, they would still have to pay for their QBO subscription. So I keep it separate because administratively, it's a pain in the butt to manage that. And I don't want to make my services look more expensive. So I'm sorry you're in that situation. It's not too late. You can transfer billing to your clients. But if you don't want to do that, then unfortunately you're kind of stuck. What you can do is just stop doing that for new clients. And hopefully maybe you can phase out old existing clients and maybe slowly transition them to paying for their own QBO subscription. But anybody who's just getting started, new clients, strongly recommend don't do that. I'm not a fan of doing that. QBO has a revenue share program. I get $300 per month from the QBO revenue share. So every new client that I set up, I think I get 30% of their monthly subscription for the first 12 months, which is pretty cool. It's just free money. So I do the revenue share program. Quick 5-second coffee break. I'm mentioning the coffee breaks because I also upload all these videos to a podcast. So whenever I upload these videos to a podcast, people won't be able to see that I'm taking a coffee break. So I just let the podcast listeners know that I'm taking a quick coffee break. So if you prefer to watch or listen to these videos in podcast format, I'm on Apple and Spotify. Same name, bookkeeping expert Zach Pasquarello. Definitely recommend check out my podcast. All right. Let's see. What if they want class tracking and receipt management? Would you charge? Oh, that's a good question, Audrey. Probably. If they want class tracking and receipt management at the same time, $5 per transaction. Sure, maybe 450. Maybe 450. Cut them a break or 5. Yeah, absolutely. So with my monthly quoting, it's not a perfect science. So I take things into consideration. For example, if sometimes people have daily transactions like Google Ads or a lot of software, a lot of advertising things are daily transactions. If they have a ton of daily transactions or just a ton of credit card transactions that can easily be recorded with a QuickBooks rule, I might cut them a break. So it's not always an exact science. I do look at the complexity of the individual transactions. If they have a ton of checks, a ton of bank deposits and wire transfers that I know are going to require more time, then maybe I'll charge them more. If they just have a ton of credit card and debit card transactions, maybe I charge them less. It's not an exact science. I try to look at the whole picture. Another good hack that you can do, if you get invited to their QuickBooks account, you can look to see what they were paying their previous bookkeeper. It's amazing. Find out what they were paying their previous bookkeeper. Another thing that I do, every single sales call, I always ask, so what's your budget for this? Most of the time they say, I've got no idea. But sometimes if you're lucky, they will actually tell you what their budget is. Imagine that somebody tells you, oh, I want to keep it under $1,500 per month. Okay, $1,500 per month. Got it. Well, how about $1,300 per month? How about that? Is that a good deal? Yes, they're going to love it. They're going to be so happy it's under their budget, under $1,500. You've got nothing to lose. Every sales call, ask them, what is your budget? They're going to say one of two things. They're going to say, geez, I've got no idea, or they're going to actually give you a number, and then just keep your quote slightly under that number. It's such a good idea. Let's see, Josh, when you reconcile monthly, do you also need to open and reconcile all of the accounts in chart of accounts? No, only balance sheet accounts need to be reconciled. Typically only bank statements, credit card statements, loan accounts. Sometimes prepaid accounts or unearned revenue can also be reconciled. Payroll liabilities could maybe be reconciled, but no, you don't need to reconcile all chart of accounts, only balance sheet accounts, and only typically bank accounts, credit card accounts, and loan accounts. Joffrey, Gelly, thank you, Zach. What ACH do you do to collect your fees? So I have ACH origination set up through my online business bank account. So I had to apply for it. I had to get approved, but I can literally pull money using my bank account. It's super cheap. It's like 7 cents per transaction, super cheap. It's all done straight through my bank. Every business bank has this capability. Call your treasury management, call your cash management, call your business banking relationship manager at your business bank and ask them about ACH origination. You might have to get set up on cash management or treasury management, but almost all banks have ACH origination capabilities, not ACH payments, but ACH origination. So I'm pulling money into my account from other people's accounts. You have to get qualified and approved, but I do it all straight through my business bank account. Benjamin Hicks, are you getting a 1099 from all your clients? I'm an S corporation. So technically, S corporations don't need to get a 1099. But yes, if you're not an S corp and if people are paying you with ACH or check or cash, yes, technically they should be giving you a 1099. Do they all do it? No, but they technically should be doing it. Daniel, takes forever to do a cleanup if real estate client because I need to know which property per transaction, and half the time they have a hard time remembering. We can only do so much, Daniel. Just remember that. We can only do so much. So if the client isn't able to answer your questions, we're not mind readers. We can't predict the future. So I usually tell people when it comes to project tracking, class tracking for cleanup projects, I usually ask them, I say, so for 2024, do you want me to allocate all these transactions to a property? If so, keep in mind, you're going to have to tell me which property these transactions go to. So if you're not able to do that, we can't do that. There is an option. If you're doing flips, there is an option. Sometimes you can just use your best judgment. So if you only flipped one property in the summer of 2024, then chances are all the repairs and maintenance and supplies are probably going to go to that one property. If you're doing multiple properties at a time, yes, things do get messy, but just keep in mind, Daniel, we can only do so much. If the client doesn't remember, then you've got two options. Either you don't do class tracking or you just guess. Neither option is great, but we can only do so much. We're not mind readers. We can't just get information without somebody telling us which property it goes to. So just don't be too hard on yourself. Just remember that it's the client's responsibility. Chika Z, what would you say is the hardest part about being a bookkeeper and why don't you do taxes? I don't do taxes because I don't want to. I make a ton of money just doing bookkeeping. Taxes are way different than doing bookkeeping. So I just don't do taxes because I don't want to. Honestly, I started doing bookkeeping. I wanted to become a CPA. I wanted to do taxes, but then I just enjoy doing bookkeeping and I make a ton of money doing it. So there's really no point in me also doing taxes. It's totally different. It's like a totally different business. It's a totally different person that does bookkeeping versus taxes. The hardest part about being a bookkeeper is communicating with clients, just like what Daniel's talking about. The hardest part about bookkeeping is getting information from your clients. If you have a client who answered your questions completely, timely, accurately, oh my goodness, bookkeeping is fun. Bookkeeping is you're putting a puzzle together. That's what you're doing with bookkeeping. You're putting a puzzle together. Each puzzle piece is a transaction, but think about it like this. The puzzle that you're putting together, only half of the puzzle pieces have a picture on them. The other half of the puzzle pieces, the client has to tell you what the picture is on the puzzle piece. So imagine you're trying to put a puzzle together and you send 10 puzzle pieces to your client. You say, hey, here's 10 puzzle pieces. I don't have a picture on the puzzle piece. Can you tell me what color are these puzzle pieces? If they tell you right away, awesome, too easy, satisfying. As a bookkeeper, that makes me happy. Now I can go back to my puzzle board. I can put these puzzle pieces exactly where they need to go. But if they don't tell me what color those puzzle pieces are for 2 weeks, then I'm stuck. I can't make progress. I can't finish the puzzle. As a bookkeeper, I love solving puzzles. I love seeing a complete finished product. P&L balance sheet is a completed puzzle. So it's frustrating trying to communicate with clients who don't give you answers. If they don't tell you what color the puzzle pieces are, you're stuck. You can't do your job. As bookkeepers, we want to know the answers. We want to do a good job. We want to accurately record transactions, but we can't do it sometimes if we don't have the information from the client. So that is hands down, without a doubt, the hardest part about being a bookkeeper. Lona, how hard do you think that might be to get clients from the US if I would work from overseas, or how open would they be to that? So, Lona, I already said this before. I only talk about my own personal experience. I've never had experience getting clients from a different country. So, unfortunately, I don't have too much advice for you on that. Chickasee, also, I'm a CPA. What advice would you give starting off with bookkeeping, providing tax services, was looking at cannabis dispensary, but doing it solo? I have a ton of advice. If you could, Chickasee, maybe ask a more specific question, because pretty much everything I've said up until this point has just been good advice for getting started. So I can answer specific questions if you have them. Marianne McNaughton, thank you so much, Zach. I appreciate your advice. Happy to help. That's why I'm here. Dim, Zip Capital is super interesting. I appreciate that. Thank you. But I think scaling Harrisburg bookkeeping is also super interesting. A business to take over for all the kids. Okay, so let me explain this real quick. Zip Capital, real estate private money lending. So I'm going to go off on a tangent real quick, but bear with me because you all can do the same thing. Real estate private money lending. So I lend money to real estate investors. I fund their acquisition. All of my loans are secured by real estate. But here's the cool part. So $100,000 loan, I make 20% per year on a $100,000 loan. So I'm making $20,000 per year on $100,000. So because I charge 12%, you're all accountants and bookkeepers, so you'll appreciate this math real quick. I charge 12% annual interest. Plus, I charge a 3% origination fee. All my loans are 6 months. So I get my money back in 6 months, and then I charge the 3% origination fee all over again. I also charge a $1,500 underwriting fee and a $995 processing fee. So with the origination fee, the underwriting fee, the processing fee done twice per year, I end up making 18 to 20%. Now, here's what I'm doing. I'm earning 20-ish%. I'm paying my investors 8 to 12%. Let's just say on average 10%, just to keep the numbers simple. So I'm making 10% on the spread through Zip Capital. As soon as I realized this, the light bulb went off. I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. So I'm making 10% on the spread, 20% gross revenue. I'm paying 10%, 20 minus 10, 10% profit on these loans. So if I can raise $5 million, you guys like my pink little ball, I've just been messing around with it. It's my fidget. If I could raise $5 million, I can make 10% on my money. That means I can make $500,000 per year just by managing Zip Capital. Now, I did the math. In order to deploy $5 million worth of capital in 1 year in real estate loans, averaging $150,000 per loan, I would have to do 70 loans per year. That means 1, maybe 2 real estate loans per week. Now, to do 1 real estate loan takes about 2 to 4 hours. So I can make, listen to this, I can make $500,000 per year managing $5 million in Zip Capital, just doing 1 to 2 loans per week. That's 2, 4, maybe 6 hours per week managing Zip Capital, $500,000 per year. That is why I am no longer taking on Harrisburg bookkeeping clients, and I am all in on raising capital in my investment fund. If you can see back there, I've got $1 million. I just got 3 new investors this week. I'm at $1.3 million, and I have about 1.5 million of my own money / loans that I have inside of Harrisburg bookkeeping. Right now, I have about $3 million lent out just in Zip Capital. So I'm making like 300-ish thousand per year just in Zip Capital. So that's why I'm all in on my investment fund. I love Harrisburg bookkeeping. I learned really valuable skills, really valuable business skills in Harrisburg bookkeeping, really valuable money skills, marketing skills, accounting, finance, business skills. That's why I recommend, even if the world of bookkeeping and accounting dies and robots take over in 2 years, I still think you all should start a bookkeeping business because you're going to learn so many incredibly valuable skills that are going to translate to your next business. So this is a great starter business. It's also a great forever business because you could get 20, 30, 40 clients and make 10, 20, $30,000 per month in your bookkeeping business, or you can learn skills like private money lending, underwriting, marketing, sales, and maybe, who knows, maybe start private money lending. Maybe you follow in my footsteps and you start an investment fund. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. It puts a smile on my face. I'm super passionate about Zip Capital, and that's why I'm trying to grow that. Okay, a couple more questions. Romeo, if a client of yours wanted to schedule a meeting with you for a 1-hour session to discuss the P&L, how much would you charge them for that 1 hour of your time? So if it's just a one-off, I'm not going to charge them extra. But if they want to schedule a monthly meeting every single month, I might consider charging them a little bit extra. But that's the whole idea about having a monthly fixed flat rate. The whole idea is that I don't charge extra for conversations and for emails. Johnny, who do you bank with? I bank with a local bank, Orrstown Bank, and a local credit union, Members First Federal Credit Union. They're both local to South Central PA. Johnny, would you attribute your content and marketing success to creating videos? Absolutely. Yes. I have no luck with just text and I'm wondering if I need to start doing quick videos. Yes. I think videos are great for getting your face out there, getting your name out there, your voice. People recognize you, people trust you. I think it's amazing. Undeposited funds, how do we clean that up properly? And why are there transactions on the reconciliation screen that has nothing to do with that month? And should I be concerned? Pam, you just asked a really great question. It's already been 1 hour. I don't really have time. Saint, do you save all of these lives? Yes, all these lives are saved on my YouTube page. You can go back and watch all of these lives if you want. Pam, undeposited funds. That's an absolute beast. I don't have time to go over that right now because we're over time and I got to run. But Pam, join me tomorrow at 10 a.m., maybe 10:30 a.m. and ask that question again, please. And I will do my best to answer that question. But I got to run. I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to try to go live every day at 10 a.m. Maybe every day at 10 a.m. We'll see if that happens. Thank you all so much. Check out all the links in the description of this video. I've got a course. I've got digital downloads. I got a free Facebook group. Follow me on social media. Thank you so much. I'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully same time in the next video.